18,000 jobs in July. The unemployment rate jumped to 4.3%. Steve Moore joins us now. All right, Steve, are we headed towards a recession?
Well, speaking of hurricane forces, you know, what's happening in the market right now is certainly unsettling to everyone. By the way, I remember, I don't know if you do, Stuart, the 1987 famous sell-off where we had a, you know, and that was one of those things which just, it turned out to just be a blip where, you know, about a month later, we were right back on our merry way to higher returns. I don't know if this is the start of something really deep like a recession or whether this is one of those blips, but I'll make a couple of comments on it. One is, it is interesting to me, and I'm not saying this is statistically significant, that as Trump has dropped in the polls, as he has over the last 10 days because of this kind of Kamala phenomenon, the market has reacted in a negative way. Why? Because Kamala Harris is really bad for investment. This is a woman who wants to double the capital gains tax and tax on realized capital gains and those kinds of things. The other thing that I would say is, you were asking earlier, should the Fed meet now to cut rates? And I say yes, I think they should. I think if you're looking I like to look at commodity prices as you do, Stuart. Commodity prices are falling very rapidly right now. We've moved from a problem of inflation right now to deflation in prices, and I think the Fed has to act to stop that.
So we don't know if there's more selling still to come on the stock market. We just don't know that, do we?
We don't. Of course not. If I knew the answer to that, I'd be in Tahiti right now making a lot of money. But the fact is, what we do know, though, is you've seen over the last month or so a pretty steady decline in commodity prices. They're falling pretty rapidly now. And that is an indication the economy is really slowing down, Stuart. So, yes, I think it would be, and by the way, in the past, I haven't been so supportive of a rate cut. Now I think one is needed, and the only question is, do they go to a quarter point or 50 basis points?
And the only question then is, how will Wall Street react to an emergency rate cut? I've no idea how they'd react, but it looks like
look, I guess, yeah.
No, go on.
My reaction to that is, if you're going to do it, do it. Why wait? You know, why wait another 4 weeks to do something everyone knows is coming? But look, I'm not rooting for a recession. Remember, all the economists were wrong in 2023. Remember, Stuart, they're saying a recession is coming. Well, it never came. So I want to be on record. I'm not saying we're facing a recession, but I think it is a frightening time. And look, I think it would be good if Kamala Harris came out and said, look, I'm not going to raise taxes.
Yes.
I'm not going to, but I don't think she's going to do that.
She's not going to do that.
She's not going to do that. Kamala Harris is going to do everything in her power to take your money and give it away. You just heard him. He said she's going to start taxing on capital gains. It's already through the roof, but she's going to put more on it, and she has to. If you saw my earlier segment, giving health care to 10, 11, 12 million people who are here illegally, you're going to get that money from someplace. You're going to have to raise taxes. That's what Democrats do. That's how they get wealth. They just tax, and what ends up happening? Well, businesses, since they can't handle it, leave. You got to understand where Kamala comes from. She is a San Francisco liberal. She hails from California, probably, arguably, the most business unfriendly state in the union, probably even more so than New York. I mean, California does everything in its power to kill business. They slap them with ridiculous regulations, environmental and otherwise. That's where Kamala comes from. You're not getting some sort of, intellect as much as, no, she's so intellectual. She isn't. She's not. And here's what's happening right now with Kamala. They're doing everything in their power to make sure she never gets close to a microphone. My guess is they're going to make sure. In fact, if it were possible, she would never answer a serious question until after she was elected. That I think that would be plan A. Plan A. Some of you think, oh, Stu, that's ridiculous. She is the presumptive nominee with not one single vote. Well, what would make you think that wouldn't be on their list? I mean, seriously, stop, think. If you don't have to put her in front of the people, you just heard what she's going to do with capital gains. She's not good for the market. You just heard it. It would be nice if she would come out and say, hey, look, don't worry. I'm not going to raise, capital gains. She's not going to do that. Why? Because she has to appeal to the people that vote for her. And everything that she does is bad. And it is interesting when he says, Trump, kind of loses some steam in the polls. I don't buy that. I do buy that those are the polls that they're putting out, but I don't believe the polls because I already know the game. They're going to go in some, 30D plus county where you're getting, deep blue Biden we love, they got, shrines to Obama, and that's where they take their polls. Maybe they'll see an independent somewhere along the lines, but most of the time they're doing oversampling in Democrat, regions. And so of course she's polling high in the polls. And they're going to keep on doing that. Keep on gaslighting people. But see, it's kind of like what they told you. I don't understand why you're complaining about your grocery prices. They're fine. And so you're supposed to go to the grocery store and, pretend that the prices are fine. That's what's supposed to happen. Look, Kamala Harris is bad for the market as the presumptive nominee. What do you think happens if she were to become the president? This is not all on Kamala. Which is, that much should be clear. Look, by the way, please don't take financial advice from me. I don't know jack from jack. Okay? I really don't. I'm not an economist. What the heck do I know? I just know that hundreds of businesses bailed California. That's all I know. They were leaving in droves. Getting out of Dodge. And Kamala Harris, Gavin Newsom, those are the people that prodded it on. They hate big business. The only business they like are the businesses that are lining their pockets. That's how it works. So yeah, she's going to come down and she's going to slap if she were president, you know how many regulations she's going to slap on every single stinking business? And guess what ends up happening? Those businesses just leave. They go to India or Taiwan or China. They just leave. All of those jobs go overseas. That's how this works. And then she'll say, Look at what I've done to our air quality. when people have lost their jobs. And by the way, we already have clean air. So Kamala that people are actually considering and committed to voting for her. When I showed you her own website where she advocates for nothing, it's all a bunch of pages for donations or buying her, merchandise. Don't you want to have a Kamala t-shirt so you can prove to the world that you're not a racist like Trump? Trust me, a lot of this, like he said, the Kamala Harris phenomenon, it's not a phenomenon. I already showed you in a segment where Jen Psaki told you that the media is going to build her up. She's going to look strong. The one thing that I've noticed, because I have to scour for pictures and stuff like that, there are no bad pictures of Kamala Harris. You have to go look for them. That's the media. It's a subtle manipulation. They only show her in the most positive light. I'm talking about physical pictures of her face. There are no bad ones. She always either looks presidential or she looks like, she's demure, or trust me, that's all a manipulation. She is yet to have one serious press conference. And by the way, Donald Trump has no business debating her. She's the presumptive nominee. She's not the nominee. So why should, when they tell you, well, he backed out of the debate. No, he didn't. He said he would debate Biden. And then they swapped him out for Kamala. Well, Kamala ain't Biden. If I'm him, I'm not going to vote for, I'm not going to, debate her. Let her debate Vance. I mean, technically, all you are right now is the vice president. That's all you are. And even putting her on the stage and on the same stage, first of all, that's never going to happen. There are too many vulnerabilities. I think that they're going to be running and running and running and running. And it doesn't matter how many times Trump says, okay, let's do this. Let's do it here. Let's do it there. Let's do it there. There will always be a reason. No, we're not going to do it because I don't want to give him a platform. They did the same thing with Arizona. I just don't want to give her a platform. She's a racist. So I don't want to give him the time of day. If you think things are bad now under Biden, honey, you ain't seen nothing. If this Marxist gets into the White House, we're going to have a super majority in both the House and Senate, where it wouldn't even matter, where anything she does is absolutely just demolished. And then what would she do? Executive orders. Kind of like the same thing that Biden did. They were getting rid of, he was using executive orders to get rid of measures that Donald Trump did that were successful. Ugh, these people. All right, that's it for now. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.